So Abby attended a wedding over the weekend, and you got a theory now.
Yeah, so people always told me that weddings would be a great place to meet a guy, but I have a theory that it might actually be the worst place. So over the weekend, I went to a wedding in my hometown of Jacksonville. I was so excited for it. The girl that's getting married is my G Little from my sorority. So in Greek speak, that's basically a girl that's 2 years younger than me, and she was in my quote-unquote sorority family. So this girl's sort of like a little sister to me. And so I literally went straight from the office right to the wedding venue because it was like right at 5. And so I had to leave like literally the second the show was over. So I skedaddled there. I'm like about to walk down the aisle with the bride. That's how late I was coming in. And I'm not going to lie, I wasn't feeling myself too much. I had to literally get ready in like a beachside bathroom. There was no mirror. I was a little greasy, a little sweaty from the show. There was a person experiencing homelessness in the bathroom next to me. It was just a little bit of a sketchy vibes. And I'm not sure if I carried any of that odor with me into the venue. But anyway, I walk in and I immediately felt like I was transported back to college, mainly because 90% of the people attending were like people in UF Greek life that I had known. But also this venue that she had gotten married at, gorgeous venue, by the way, but we had so many Greek life date functions at this specific venue. So I walk in and I'm immediately like, yeah, I had my first blackout makeout in that corner. I remember being on the bus with that girl. Like it was very much like getting flashed back in time. So I sit down, I'm at the wedding, and I'm in the back row, which in my opinion is the best place if you can't be in the front row. Because if you're in the front row, of course, you get to see them give their vows. You're seeing the emotions on their face. But in the back row, you get to be the first person to see everyone walk down the aisle. And so, of course, I'm sitting next to my other single friend, my Little, who is the G Little's big. It's a whole family thing. And we're scoping out all the groomsmen that are walking down the aisle. And so one by one, they're going down and we're like, 7. Oh, he's got a ring. Doesn't matter. Okay. 8. Oh, he doesn't have a ring. Okay. Oh, no, he came here with a girl. And we're just going down trying to see who we want to try and dance with on the dance floor when the reception starts.
We are not pieces of meat, Abby.
Listen, I'm going to get objectified, I'm going to equally objectify men back. So as they're walking down the aisle.
You are meat inside a suit. So just embrace it.
The suits are basically like lingerie for men. Like you might as well be walking down the aisle in a bustier.
And a thong.
So we're making our roster in the back. We're trying to get a vibe as to who is available and who's not. So the ceremony ends, the reception starts. We're about 2.5 glasses of Sauv Blanc deep at this point, and we're scoping out. And I kind of noticed, I'm like, damn, every attractive man here is with a woman. And I'm looking around, I'm like, there's a lot of single girls. And I was once again transported back to my college days because I went to 2 formals at this venue. So now it's 2 formals and a wedding. And my first formal I went to was my sorority formal. And it was very normal for girls to go without a date. You typically would ask a guy, but sometimes girls would bring a girl as a date or they would go alone. And then the second formal that I went to at that venue, I went with a fraternity. And I remember thinking that there were no single guys there. They were just guys who would bring a girl as a friend or a girl as a date. And I was looking around the wedding. I'm like, this is just like a date function. This is like an adult date function because there were no men there without dates, but there were tons of single girls there. And I'm like, why is it not an equal ratio? Because it's not like it's just a girls event. Like I know the guy that she's getting married to, but I'm here for the girl. So there should be an equal proportion, right? And then I started thinking, I'm like, okay, yes, there's a lot of single girls, but I have noticed something about guys. And once one gets booed up, the rest of them get booed up. So here's one getting married. It's only natural that all of his friends are also going to be wifed up or refusing to come without a date. And so now I've realized this idea, this rom-com idea in my head of going and finding a man at a wedding is never going to happen.
All right, so the only flaw in your theory that I see so far is that there's not the same, I don't think that guys feel the same pressure to go to a wedding with a date as women do.
But
that's her theory's complete opposite.
My theory is the opposite of that, because I was with so many single girls there who didn't show up with anybody, and every guy that I saw, except for like one goober, every guy there had a date. And so my theory is that because when one guy gets married, everyone else starts pairing off, and so of course all of his friends that are there are also going to have dates.
That makes sense though, because I feel like as a guy, you're only going if you're really close to the guy who's getting married.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, the only other reason you're there is usually because a woman who you like or love drags you along. So that's probably why that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's needless to say, I did not find love at my friend's wedding, but I did find a lot of white wine, which is great.
The Bert Show.